Ready for some makeup? Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, hi, subscribe. So it's been a minute since I've done a makeup video and I was thinking I want to do an updated version of how I do my FFS makeup tutorial. For those of you that don't know what FFS is, it's facial feminization surgery, but we're going to be doing this with makeup. And FFS, it's more common in the trans community, specifically with trans women. And if you are new to this channel, hello, I'm trans, hi. So I'm going to be showing you how I go about doing my makeup now. It's not too much has changed. If you're an OG to my channel, you see me do reverse contouring. It's not finished yet. I'm doing a collaborative song, so I'm talking to the other artists about the other artists. I'm excited to share with y'all. It's a little nasty. Put that on vibrate. So anyways, I'm going to show you basically how I sculpt my face and change, well not change, but like alter it, make it seem more feminine with makeup. So I'll show you how I go about that now. I'm not going to do too much like, oh look at that, I need to... I'm not going to go too crazy on the eye makeup. I'm going to keep it pretty simple. It's mostly going to be focused on the face, but don't worry, I'll get into I'll do some more creative makeup videos in the future, but for now, let's do an updated version of this. Primer. Some people are going to be like,
you don't use a primer?
I've seen some makeup artists, and I've just been trying out new techniques. I've seen some say that if you use your moisturizer that it can act as a primer, so I've been trying that lately. I'll let you know.
Did you get it?
In the future if I agree or no. So technically I've already primed. When I do my face routine, I do moisturizer at the very end. So technically primed. Now, if you're an OG to my channel, you've seen these products before. You probably can't see it on the screen, but it's a BB cream and a Lumi Glow Lotion from L'Oreal. And I mixed the two. And honestly, the one that I got in the Glow Lotion, it's a little darker for my skin. However, it works out nicely for when I am doing reverse contour. If you don't know what reverse contour is, it's basically, if you think about contouring, you're adding depth to the face using shades that are darker than your natural complexion. So reverse contouring is basically highlighting. So I mix the two and just put it on my face. So this kind of acts as my foundation. I basically get that everywhere except for my eyelid. I don't know why I do that, but that's just I kind of leave that spot empty for the concealer, because the concealer that I use, it's pretty tacky, so you can use it as a eyeshadow base. Wash this off my hands. It's funny watching the camera because like in the mirror my face looks darker, but on screen it's like taking all the light. Okay, so next I take my concealer, my Tarte Shape Tape concealer. I use light sand and I basically put some underneath my eyes. On my eyes a little bit, just a little bit. Some on the forehead, just right here. Blend that out later. A little bit down the nose. Right on the lips. Then on my chin. And I just kind of swipe it around my mouth. Okay, that's a good start. Okay, and then what I also do, I am trying this new setting spray. I don't know if I like it yet. It's from Morphe. It's the Continuous Mist. But anyways, I use this and I put it all over my face. And I do this because I watched Jackie Aina. If you don't know who she is, shame on you. I'll put her channel in my description box down below. But anyways, I learned this technique from her, and she said she talked to someone that's in the makeup industry about makeup products, and one of the people that's behind the scenes said if you use setting spray as you're doing your makeup, that it helps smear your products in better. So anyways, I blend this out just on this part of my cheek, and I'm trying to get a rounded effect. So I blend it out so far, and then where there's not product on my blender, I tap the outer part of what I just did, just to get a better seamless with the blend. Probably doesn't make sense. Do the same thing to the other side. And I don't know if you can notice, but I'm only really just blending it out on the cheek part because I want to lift it. Because to get a more feminine feel with makeup, you want things to be a little bit more full, a little bit more open. So by doing this effect, and as well as further contouring later and adding blush, you can really get a nice full effect with it. So, and on my forehead, I don't blend it out too far because you want to make your forehead as small as possible-ish. Depends on what kind of forehead you got, but for me, this is what I do. So I get it this far, and then I take, again, a part that doesn't have product on it, tap the outside just to blend it out a little bit more. And I am going to go in with another product from Wet n Wild and kind of brighten a little bit more. So I forgot to give instruction as I was blending, but basically as you're blending around your mouth, don't move the product around too much, but you do want to move it underneath your cheek to carve it out so you can get that nice contour effect. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but it already gives me a contour line, which is great. I want more. So I'm going to go back in with an actual like bronzing product, and I'm going to deepen it further. Get the eyes. Now I'm going to go in with that Wet n Wild product. So this is a duo thing. It's a contour and a highlight stick. I'm going to be so honest. I never use this contour side. I'm sure once I run out of this other product that I'm going to show you, but I'll start using it, but it's not that I don't like it, it's just I don't use it. I use more so this. It was kind of like I was just playing with makeup and I decided to try this again because I didn't like it the first time I tried it. And now I do. So I'm going to literally just kind of mark it in the inner parts of my face to further brighten. And when you're trying to shape your face, the name of the game is pigment and contrast in pigment. So if you really want to like change how your face looks, especially with using like matte products, shine's okay. Like doing this, like by the end of this, you'll see a mix of matte and dewy from me. But matte will really help the color to stay on your face and to keep the effect that you're trying to go for. And the illusion of that your face looks different. So I'm going to go back in with my sponge, and I'm not going to blend it out too far out like I did with my concealer. I'm going to try and keep it pretty much right where I basically place them, just blending them out. You know, it doesn't make too much of a difference, but it makes enough where it's now a part of my daily makeup routine now. Now, my last makeup video, I didn't do things too much different, but if you didn't know on my channel, I had a quarantine because of Miss Rona, and before I tested positive and started developing symptoms, I was doing my makeup like hella, but then once I tested positive, I stopped because I didn't want to get everything with Miss Rona over it, so I stopped. But since then, I'm feeling better. I go back to work soon, so back to makeup. Now, with this part around my lips, I do blend it out just a tad, just a little bit. Now, I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but basically with everything that I just did so far with reverse contouring and with using a darker base, you can't tell. But anyway, so what I'm seeing in the mirror versus what I'm seeing on screen, as I turn, I can tell that my cheeks aren't that full, but in the mirror, what I'm seeing is lifted cheeks. So my cheeks look a lot fuller, but that's because I kept the contour underneath to make it dip a little bit and making it more round. So I'm going to deepen it. So I have this product from Fenty. It's the cream bronzer, and I use Macchiato. And I take this and I warm it up first with my finger, and then I put it on the back of my hand. Now, you would expect me to just scoop right from here, but I know myself, I always dip back in. So I'm just gonna dip anyways in here, just like boop. not too much product, and then swipe it on my hand. And then I'm going to go do some more. So I'm using this fluffy brush that's a little bit more rounded to help me with the blending. And I'm literally just, where I already see the darkness that I made, I'm just going to go right over that and just deepen it. And I'm probably going to go in with another shade later and deepen it further, but this really helps. And then I turn it just a little bit, do that weird face. I don't know how to explain the face that I make, so just watch. And I go like this. Just a little bit. And then I continue this up my face, and you want this to look as blended as possible. So oftentimes what I will do, just take that little bit that I have on my hand, and I'll literally just kind of stipple on my hairline. Now if you have lighter hair than I do, probably don't do this. Or I have dark hair, you can't tell, so that's what I do, is that I get really cozy to my hairline. Now in the mirror, I can see the difference between this side of my face versus this side. In the camera, you can't really, so I'm sorry. Now usually what people do after this part, they would like set their face and everything. I'm not a huge fan of the setting powders. Like, I get that it works, but like, I don't know. I'm not that picky when it comes to makeup. If it moves, whatever. But if you do want your makeup to last, do the whole baking thing if you know how to do it, and then go back over with powder. But I like to skip steps. So if I can get the same look with fewer steps, I'm going to do that. Okay, so I'm going to spray my face just to kind of like lock in what I've done. And while that's drying on the front part of my face, I'm going to go in on the bottom part and contour my jaw just a little bit. So same thing, just dipping it a little bit, swiping it on the back of my hand. And then with the women's straws are very rounded. With men, it's very like, so I try to soften that. And I literally just take it right here, make that spot kind of go away, and just stipple down. And it helps with the illusion. And I know like other people, they have the issue where it's like, they're like, but Khristian, I have no jaw. Well, mine is very pronounced. This is what I do. But if you want to be able to contour your jaw, I wouldn't use so much a fluffy brush. I would go with like a more, like this kind of a brush. It's a little rounded, but not super. Like when I use this, it has more of like a solid stamping effect. I would use a brush like this, take your contour, and literally stipple it in, and then blend it out with your blending brush to really give yourself like a nice jaw shape, if that's what you're going for. For me, I'm trying to soften my jaw. So I think that's it for that part. I'm gonna take my blending I almost said blending brush. This is not a brush, y'all. I'm going to take the sponge, and I'm just going to tap around my face just to kind of mirror things together a little bit. So anyways, I just went back into my bronzing cream thing. But I'm going to take this on my brush and go on the side of my nose and kind of go like this. And swipe up. If I can turn to the side and show you a little bit what I'm doing. So I learned a little bit of how to make my nose appear smaller. So I'm actually going to go back in later with the brightening powder to clean up my edges. But this technique, especially with brightening, it really helps to make my nose seem a little bit more pinched. Take some of that and put it right over top of my nose. And honestly, you could probably skip the whole this part and just go straight into this and then just blend it out right here. But I like to make the nose pop off. So by putting the product on this way first and then going back in with the brightening powder, that's what helps me. I'm going to take the yellow specifically, and the pink I'll use later. Oh, this is from Dragon Beauty, the brightening palette. So using that yellow shade, I'm going to, this part is a little hard to explain, so I'm going to try and do this from the side so you can see. But I press right here and I let the bristles kind of hug my nose a little bit, and I kind of push it in. Probably not the best idea, like I'm probably moving a lot of product, but this is just what I've been doing. Same thing to the other side. And I'm going to take the sponge and I'm just going to tap around my face just to kind of mirror things together a little bit. So anyways, I just went back into my bronzing cream thing. I'm going to take this on my brush and go on the side of my nose and kind of go like this. And made somewhat of a difference, right? Going back in with my sponge, I'm going to just tap right here just to take whatever product I have left on my sponge and kind of press it in. And I did a little something. It's not like, wow, your nose looks so different, but it's like enough where I'm satisfied. Taking that same yellow and putting it right up here. Take a little bit more, pinching my brush, and I'm literally just gonna hit from here down to here-ish. Okay, I'm satisfied. So I'm gonna go back in with this pink powder. I'm literally just gonna go like this. Whoop. Stopping it like up here. And this just kind of helps brighten and lift the cheeks even further and blend the highlight with the contour. Now, for the eyes portion, I'm not quite sure what I want to do, so I'm going to try something that's safe that I know how to do. I'm going to take that same cream bronzer and put it, I'll just show you. So with that same big brush, I'm literally, this part is like, people wonder how I do my makeup so quick, and that's because I kind of cheat. So what this is doing is I'm kind of just hitting my brow bone, if anything. And I'm just kind of contouring that. Because you do want to make your eyes bigger if you're trying to go for a more feminine look. So this helps it a little bit. I'm going to go back over with, should I do brown or blush? You know what, I think I'm going to, I have the Nikki Tutorials palette. I'll have to do like a couple tutorials with this, but I got this palette from Nikki Tutorials, and I think I'm going to use Roxy Catan. I also got some new brushes, so I'm going to be using this fluffy brush from Morphe. I did do a little bit of a splurge on myself. I just got brushes, like some new brushes, because I didn't take very good care of my old ones, so I got some nicer ones, these, and I've been taking better care of them. Like when I first quarantined, I washed all my makeup brushes, so now they're nice and clean. So anyway, so I'm going to take that on this fluffy brush, and I'm literally just going to hit the outer part of my eye, just kind of stamp it on. Now it is more of a shimmer shade, and I don't know, I was watching YouTube last night. There was the girl that had her eye makeup done, and she used a shimmery shade, and I thought it looked pretty, so that's what I'm doing. So stamping it out right up here. Then I'm going to start, here, watch. So dipping it again, I just kind of, gonna go like this. Gonna brush it out. And mind you, I don't use the shade that often, so you're kind of in it on the joyride with me. So stamping, blending it out. And this is more for like a nice settle look. The shimmer just to add a little bit of like a wow. Now mind you, with these shades in Nikki's palette, she has said that it's better to use your finger for the shimmer shades, but I want to lose the shine a little bit, just a little bit. And so I'm using a brush because, I don't know, I just want the shade. I just like the color. I'm feeling, should I do like a pinkish, I don't know. Maybe we'll do like a goldish highlight. So with this more flat and flashy brush, flat and fluffy brush, I'm going to go into this Becca highlighter. I brought this a long time ago, so the product's kind of everywhere, but I'm just going to take it on here and literally just put it on my lid. Mostly on the center part. And I'm going to keep looking up every so often. Now, if you do have hooded eyes like me, you want to try and aim a little higher than your crease. So sometimes what I do is that I'll literally put the product like on my brush, and then I'll hit it where I want it, and I'll turn it around, tuck it, go like this. So going into my Zodiac palette, I'm going to take Cancer. And I'm going to take this brush that kind of comes to a point, and I'm literally going to put the product mostly on the tip. And then hit that inner corner. And I do think I'm going to try and deepen that outer part a little bit. So going in with the same shade, just stippling it in. And I'm not doing any like psh, psh, psh. I'm literally just dipping, going tap, tap, tap. Stabbing it. Probably gonna do this one more time, so one more boop, boop, boop. Tap, 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 and then blend up a little bit. So by doing this, I keep the product mostly on this side to deepen the color. And then whatever is left, literally buffing it out, bringing it in a little bit. Going back into the Zodiac palette, I'm going to go into Virgo. And I'm going to take this flat edge brush and I'm going to use this to make my winged liner. So to kind of clean up a little bit of what I just did, I'm literally going to take my sponge, pinch it, and just swipe up against that line, just to clean it up a little bit. Okay. This is a good spot to stop. Taking this palette from Wet n Wild. I don't know if I've used it before on my channel, but it's the Hello Halo. It's a blush and highlighter, almost highlighter combo. I'm gonna take that highlight shade right here. Which shade am I using? It's Flash Me. So I'm gonna use Flash Me. So using the fan brush, I'm gonna just kind of brush it right up here. And see, with highlighter, there's not too many rules with highlighter, but especially if you're trying to do some effects on your face just to make it appear different, keeping the highlighter up, like more so up on this part of your face, will help with the round off effect, make your cheeks seem fuller than they actually are. Whatever's left, I'm just gonna kind of whoop, whoop. Probably gonna do, let's do one more. Taking that same highlighter and just brushing it up against my brow. Taking that same highlighter and just brushing it up against my brow. Are any of y'all on TikTok? Do you know what that song was like? Wee! That's what I was thinking. Now I'm gonna take that blush and put it more so on the apple. So tapping it in and blending it out. Well, not out, but like to the outer part of the face. Boop, 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 boop. Bring it in just a tad. So make that stupid face that everyone makes when they're doing their makeup. Gonna deepen it just a little bit more. So tap, 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 tap here. Out. Back in. Out. Now, especially with trying to feminize the face, if you put the blush like on the apples, so it kind of goes like contour, blush, highlight, but you want to mix it all together. Hence why I do my blush over top my highlight, so it's not like there's the highlighter, it's all like all nice and blended. So the blush kind of helps to round it off a little bit, so the contour kind of goes like, psh, this is where my cheek is, the highlight is, oh, this is how high it comes up. The blush is kind of like, hi, this is where she is. So I take that same blush and tap it on my chin, because most women's draws it kind of comes like a ch, whereas in men it's like ch, ch, ch. So that kind of helps with that. Gonna take this, put it a little bit on my nose, so tap, 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 tap. And I literally just kind of boop, boop. Up here a little bit, across the contour, where it meets the highlight. I'm going to be using this lip liner. It's in Knock on Wood. I'm gonna line my lip. Now some people ask me if I overdraw my lip or if I've had lip fillers. I'm half Samoan, so my lips are probably a little bigger than yours if you are white. So I do not overdraw my lips. I literally just line it. I do transfer to the bottom like this. And then I just kind of go back over. I have noticed though, every time that I do line my lips in this way, use the dark shade to line and then do a lighter lip. So basically like an ombre lip kind of, but especially if I just line my lips and put on some gloss, everyone thinks that I got like a lip job or something. So if you want that look. Hey, pop a dog with my lipstick.
Paparazzi like with that take ah.
And then literally just to clean up what I did, I take my finger and I clean up. Kind of just like, And then sometimes I'll take a finger and go like right on the cupid's bow just to really pop it off. So I'm gonna use this shade. It's from Wet n Wild. It's the multi-stick. And it is in the color Born to Flirt. I should have this memorized by now. I use this product a lot. Now the brows. Now before the lockdown happened, I went to Walmart like 4 or 5 times to get this e.l.f. product. There's never been a restock. So I'm using this. It was a Christmas gift from like 2 years ago, but there's still product in it because I rarely use it because I try to use the e.l.f. one that's like $2. This is a little bit more expensive, but guess what? It was gifted, so I'm gonna use this brow gel to kind of clean off whatever product I accidentally put on my brows. I'm gonna clean it up first, and then I'll start combing it out to where I want it to lay. Now see where I am half, some of my brows are very bushy, so, and also where I am biologically male, they're bushy. So I just taper my brows and lay them with the gel. I don't do that filling in your brows stuff. Mascara. Using this from L'Oreal, it's the Duo theme. So use the white side first to like make your lashes look more full, and then use the black side. You want to let the white part dry first. But my lashes are already long, so I don't do that. Sometimes I wear fake lashes. I have these fake lashes from my cousin. If you've seen that video, you've seen the lashes. And now I can put them on, but I'm going for a more subtle look, so not going to be using those lashes today. But if you do want to make your eyes appear more bigger, those lashes they're perfect. Honestly, it's after I put on my mascara and my lipstick that I'm like, now, if you're an OG to this channel, you know the lip gloss I'm about to use. Caramel Kiss from Victoria's Secret. It is discontinued and kissed. So if anyone has any recommendations for lip gloss, let me know. I just like the shade in this because it's kind of like, it's got like a rose gold tint to it, and you can literally put it with whatever lip look you got. And I'm sure they have products that are similar to it, but like, I don't know, I just like this specific shade. And I did go back and I just didn't see any shades that could compare. Why do brands have to get at things that we love? Last but certainly not least, well, it is the last step, my setting spray. Now, as I'm drying my face, before I cut to what my face looks like, there is 2 steps that I did skip that sometimes I do. It depends on my mood. But I'm comfortable with the contour that I gave myself. But sometimes what I will do is that same brush that I used earlier, I will use Nikita Dragon's face palette, and I'll take that same brush, dip it in the lighter shade and the darker shade. So first shade, here. So I'll take my face palette, and then I'll take the light and the dark shade, so I'll tap in this once and this twice, and literally just using one side, I'll tap right on the outer part. Should I just show you? Okay, I'll show you. So I did just spray my face with setting spray. So I may spray a second time, but so I dip, tap off, and then literally just the slightest bit. This is just like a nitpicky part of the makeup routine. I'm just stamping it lightly on the outside. It does the littlest effect, but if you really want to do like foolproof, high-end blended, this is nice. You know what, I'm glad I did that though, because now the contour is a little bit more like, taking that same amount right on the tip of the nose. Now there have been a couple times that when I did this, I basically had like a black line going on. If you go back over with your blush, and I'll show you real quick. So just to blend it in further together and just kind of like hide that line that you just created, I'll literally take that blush, like kind of tap it off a little bit, and literally just kind of dot it over top of that. So notice I'm not even like hitting the apples. I'm kind of going not over the contour, but over that line. Okay, I'm glad I did that. Okay, I'm gonna go off camera, do some hair, and change my outfit, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so this is the finished look. I hope you liked watching it, and I hope you learned a little something about how to change up your face. But yeah, this is basically what I do now. Before I started getting really into makeup, I focused a lot more on like creating eye looks, and I was like very creative with my makeup. But since being on hormones for so long, I'm more picky about how my face looks specifically. So this is kind of what I do now. I still do sometimes will do like a crazy eye look on top of doing this. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned a little something. But if you like this video, give it a good thumbs up, and then comment down below about whatever else you would like to see. And don't forget to subscribe so that you know when I post. Actually, if you click that bell notification, anytime I post, your phone will let you know, and then you can see what I'm up to. Okay, love you all.